Go beyond the dining room and into the heart of the service industry. Join Ron Garrett as he brings real people with raw stories and the soul of Las Vegas hospitality.
Hey Vegas, I'm Ron Garrett here on Vegas Pulse. Stories from the back of the house. We can get down and dirty sometimes, but not tonight. Well, maybe. With me is Carla Rea. Carla Rea, as you know, is the morning personality on KKLZ along with Mike O'Brien and many other things. And I'm going to chat with her right now here on Vegas Pulse. Stories from back of the house.
All the secrets.
Hello, Carla.
Hey, Ron. How you doing? Old friend, by
Old
the
friend,
way.
that's
Old
right.
friend.
Let
And
me ask you the first question.
Yeah.
Do you still like the Coffee Bar as your favorite restaurant up in Reno?
Yes, as a matter of fact, I do like the Coffee Bar. Wow, you really do remember, don't you?
We
Wow.
dug into that, but the first
Yeah.
time I ever saw
Love
you
that place.
perform was
Love
in
that.
Reno.
Where was it?
It's in Sparks. There was a comedy club there in Sparks. I can't remember it.
Was it? I think it was. Was it a casino? I think it might have been a little. Was it a casino that did
I don't
something
remember
like that? I was getting stage time anywhere I could.
So
when I
you're
was
from
in
Reno.
I'm from Reno originally. Graduated from, well, it's now Nevada. It used to be UNR. Went all through school there. Grew up there. Family from Detroit, but I was made in Detroit, and then my parents moved here, or to Reno, I should say, and I grew up there.
Well, I first met you in Reno. I had an
Yeah.
advertising agency there.
Yes, you did.
And before that, I had Channel 21, KAME TV.
Nice. Shout out.
Which we put on shout-outs, but it's a Fox station now, Carla.
Yeah, okay. All right.
So you progressed, though. You did comedy, and then you came to Las Vegas in 1989.
Yeah.
And you had some great
Man.
comedy clubs that you worked at. You were on Conan O'Brien for a
Yeah,
while.
yeah,
2 times, I understand.
yes,
Jenny
yeah.
Jones.
Yeah,
Evening at the
Jenny.
Improv, Showtime,
Yes.
and some
yeah.
great comedy clubs.
Wow. Thank you. Good night. Oh.
And that's it.
It's funny because you mentioned Reno, and that's where I grew up, and I knew I was going to do comedy, and when I dove in, there were places in Reno that there were stages, and everybody would tell me get stage time wherever you can. So I did. And that was a couple of strip joints, and those friends who had bands would say, "Oh, come on, do some time." And that taught me to never get up and do some time for a friend who has a band, because it's the worst experience ever. That changed a little down the road when it came to working with bands, but
They
yeah.
wanted to hear the band, not the comic. Is
Exactly, and you are the only one that gets that. Yes, yes, they don't want comedy. They're listening to ZZ Top. They're listening to Rick Springfield. They don't want comedy. Jeez, not from me.
What possessed you to come to Las Vegas in 1989? Was it, by the way, the same year Taylor Swift was born? Just wanted to point that out.
Well,
She's been
I
in the
knew.
news lately.
I knew that something would happen with her, and I thought, well, you know what? I got to help this girl out a little bit. No, I'll be honest with you. You want the honest truth?
Sure.
So I was living in San Diego at the time because I moved. Everybody, I said, I'm going to move to L.A. I went to San Francisco. Then I was going to go to L.A. And a lot of comics said, oh, you're too young to move to L.A. And so I thought, okay. I was seeing my boyfriend had moved to San Diego. So I went to San Diego instead and wound up down there. And I was working L.A. quite a bit. And we were together a few years. And then he was cheating on me with another guy. Hi, hello. And so things weren't going so well.
That's a tough one right there.
Oh, you want stories? Yeah, it was. So I thought, well, I'm going to go visit, my friend who lived here, my very best friend, still my best friend, Monica, and I came to visit her. And I was working a lot more in Vegas, too. I was kind of going back and forth, and I thought, it just wasn't working out with now my ex, who's a dear friend. But I thought, you know what, maybe I'll just move to Vegas, because at the time it mattered where you based out of, because you could get cheaper flights. So I moved to Vegas, and I started, and I met the Steve Sharippas.
First gig in Vegas. What was it?
Oh, you'll love this. Commercial Center, place called State Street.
Johnny Russo.
Johnny Russo. So I went.
Before or after the murder?
No, it was after. It was after.
You remember that,
It was
right?
after. Yes, I do remember that. Yeah, it was after. Not long after.
Well, Johnny Russo didn't kill
No,
anybody.
he
It happened
didn't.
at his place.
No, he did not.
No,
Yes, it happened.
I don't
at
want
his
to say
place.
that.
No, he did not. And as much as I knew of Gianni, I liked him. But I heard somebody said, oh, they're doing a comedy showcase and there's a contest over there, comedy contest. I thought, well, I'm going to go over to this State Street. And I thought, ooh, this will be a cool place, comedy club. No, this dark, just what you would see out of The Godfather, The Sopranos, dark place.
That's
you
where his
remember?
head was
Yeah,
at.
yeah. But I did this thing. I did it for 4 weeks and I won like $500. And he said, you're good. He said, come by my place tomorrow and I'll pay you. And I said, okay. And I went by his place, and I remember this so well. He lived over at they were called the Mark IV Towers, I think it was,
yeah.
right? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And he was up in a nice penthouse. And I remember going over there. God love you, Johnny, and God bless you. And he answered the door in his robe and, just welcomed me in. But he said, here, sit down. And he took stacks of cash. What do I owe you? And he took 100, gave me a couple 50s, and just took them from stacks of cash. And I thought at that time, he must do really well at this State Street, man.
I don't think that money came from State Street.
Neither do I. I think it came from the washer. But that was my first gig in Las Vegas.
And the
was
door
at
to
State
get
Street.
in the place was on State Street. You didn't
Yes.
have to go into
Yeah, you're right.
Commercial
There was
Center.
that back
Right.
door there.
And you parked on State Street. The
yeah.
valet was there.
That's
I was
right.
there many times.
Yes, and it was a cool place.
It was.
Really was a very cool place, and they had some really cool
It's
acts in there.
men's spa now.
Yes. Yes, the only place left is still, I think the green door is still over there, but that's another story entirely. But yeah, that was my first gig. And after that, I met, that it led to a lot of things. And Gianni actually introduced me to a few people. And then I met Winston O'Rourke, who was running Catch a Rising Star. And I met Steve Sharippa, who was over at the Riviera. And it kind of started rolling. And I was really lucky because my dad once told me when I was much younger, when I started doing comedy, he said, Carly, you're much stronger than your material. And I thought, well, how dare you? How dare you, Dad? But then it hit me, and I've always been able to pull it off, and now I have material, and I have me, and something.
Well, you've been called sarcastic in your
Yeah.
comedy.
Uh-huh.
Cheeky.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah.
Unapologetic.
Yes.
What's cheeky? I'm not quite kind of off the...
Yeah, for as and unapologetic more so as I've gotten older too, because I don't give a rat's ass.
I hear that
In
on the air.
Yeah, yes, in
Today.
the best way.
Yes.
Exactly. Though I don't care in the best way. Cheeky because every once in a while I think even with me, I think there's something old school in me. I think that I just like throwing out something just goofy and silly and maybe a bit just old school throwback in my style or a punchline. And I think sometimes it throws people off a little bit and it takes them back a little
But
bit.
that's
Just-
your style.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. It took me a long time. Let's see. I was an impressionist for a while, Ron. Not very good. I did political humor, which I thought that was like the 80s, really like towards the end of the Reagan era. Because you could poke fun.
Well,
but I
politics
just
were a
wasn't.
lot different.
Oh,
back then.
absolutely. Absolutely. And even the politicians enjoyed the political humor. It's a different climate now,
They're
but
all
I
too
didn't.
sensitive these days.
Absolutely. But I wasn't that great at the political humor either. I wasn't a Lewis Black. I wasn't a Will Durst. It just wasn't me.
Mm-hmm.
I did physical humor. And somehow I just found my way. You know, the more you're on stage, they say, and things come to you as well when you're on stage. Things happen. I still say there's nothing better than live comedy. You don't ever know what is going to happen.
I got to take a break right now. I want to come back and I want to tell us about your dad. He was a wonderful guy with a lot of talent.
Yeah.
And let's talk about him when we come right back. Hey, Vegas, we'll be back in just a little bit right here on Vegas Pulse, Stories from the Back of the House with my guest, Carla Rea. We'll be right back.
Hey Vegas! Are you ready to kickstart 2025 with a bang? The Composer's Room is your go-to destination for Las Vegas entertainment. Every day is a celebration here. From live music to comedy shows to magic acts, the Composer's Room has the entertainment with the Las Vegas vibe. If you are feeling lucky, then try your hand at one of our hot video poker machines. Who knows, you may hit the jackpot. Are you feeling thirsty? Our tavern serves the best drinks in Vegas. Whether you are a cocktail connoisseur or a beer buff, our bartenders got you covered. And let's not forget about the food. Our culinary delights are guaranteed to entertain your taste buds. And what's more, we've been voted best restaurant with live music. Come for the entertainment and stay for the food. Start celebrating 2025 in style at the Composer's Room. Our Vegas, our way.
Looking for a night out that's pure Vegas? Welcome to Jimmy Kimmel's Comedy Club, voted best comedy club in Las Vegas. Located at the Link Promenade, just steps from the High Roller, it's your ticket to big laughs from top comics handpicked by Jimmy Kimmel himself. No two shows are alike. Every night's a headliner, and every seat's a great one. Get your laughs at the best. Jimmy Kimmel's Comedy Club, only in Vegas, only at the Link.
Back now, more with Carla Rea. That's your real name.
It is my real name.
R-A-E, which is an
it's
Italian
actually
name.
flip it or E-A. E-A. Like Rea.
E-A, I mean.
Yes, yeah, you're right.
I wrote it right here.
Yeah, you're right.
E-A.
Yeah.
Tell us about your dad.
Oh, man. My name, Italian, yes. My dad was with they were the Gaylords, which he used to say you could never name a band that now. The Gaylords went on to become, they were a successful a musical act. They were a trio. They did a lot of Italian music, of course. Had about 4 gold records back in the day. The Little Shoemaker, From the Vine Came the Grape, The Isle of Capri. Excuse me. They went on. My dad used to tell me this story. He said, I remember, Carly, they were doo-wop, 3-part harmony, and they were good. They were good. He said, but I remember we saw this guy one night. We all went out and we saw this guy, and we listened to him, and we thought, oh, man, this is the future of music. This guy was doing a song called Rock Around the Clock, and it was Bill Haley.
That's way back.
Yes, and my dad said, that music is going to change right now, and I truly believe he was right. I mean, it did. And then they saw Elvis, and a lot of the guys thought, wow, this is not going to work. What is he doing? But that went well. But they went on after that. The Gaylords went on to become a pretty successful musical comedy team. Gaylord and Holiday.
Gaylord, I remember them, of
yes.
course.
They worked here, they worked Tahoe, they worked Reno, and all over. But they were pretty successful, and I loved that world. I loved it. My parents would have parties. I used to say it was like, remember Dick Van Dyke and those parties they would throw, and there'd be somebody on the piano, and there'd be somebody over here playing guitar, and we had a drum kit, and it was just that, and I loved it, and I knew when I was about 7, 8 years old that I was going to do comedy.
So that was already in your head.
It was absolutely in my head. It was
Did
nothing
you
I fell
entertain the
into.
family
Yes.
during Thanksgiving and
Yes,
Christmas?
I did. I sang. My first, Ron, I have to be honest, my very first love was dance. I thought I might be a ballerina, and now at that time I was about as wide as I was tall. And I met Juliette Prowse. My dad worked with her. And I met her backstage, and she said to me, what do you want to be, Carla? And I said, I want to be a dancer. And she said to me, you can be anything you want to be. And I thought, well, I'm going to be a dancer. It didn't work out for me. But when I was in dance, I always got the funny parts. They would dress me up goofy. I got the funny parts, and I ended up loving it. Yes. Yeah.
So you're a comedian, and you come to Las Vegas.
Yeah.
What resistance did you get when they say, who is this?
Right.
Reno, nobody's funny in Reno.
No, you're right about that.
You know, and the truth is, nobody is funny.
Right. That's why we leave.
Very provincial town.
It is. It's changed a lot. I got to say, I still go back and forth, and I do love it.
Hasn't gotten much bigger.
Not that much bigger,
No.
but it's grown in a good way. You know, the usual, the wine bars and the breweries and all that, but very outdoorsy now, very healthy, and I like that. But
The resistance you got when
I came. Keep in mind, so I went to San Francisco. I got a lot of stage time, great clubs there. San Diego. And now as I got older, I thought I'm going to go, I told you earlier, I'm going to move to L.A. because I thought that's, And then as I got older, everybody said, you're going to move to L.A., you're too old to move to L.A. And so I was too young, I was too old. So I came to Vegas, and yes, I had, it was funny because Winston O'Rourke, she handled Catch a Rising Star, where was it, at Bally's at the time. And I literally had to go through, it was an audition in front of her, a GM, and somebody else, like 3 people had to do comedy too in front of. And I thought, you've got to be kidding me.
No laughs with 3 people.
It was ridiculous. And I've told her since. But they said, why don't you come host the showcase? And that was a big deal, to do a late night showcase. And it was tough. State Street didn't mean that much to comedy clubs. But George Wallace, you know him.
Very funny comedian.
He's just the best, and a dear friend, because he happened to come into a showcase one night there. And I did a few minutes up front. And he told Winston, he said, just book her. Why have you not booked her for a week? She's really funny. And they ended up booking me after that. And George is still a dear friend, and I love him to death. And I've worked with him a ton because of that. But he was the one that really said, hey, she's pretty good. So he's the one who kind of got me real gigs and it got me working Las Vegas.
Did you ever get fired from a comedy gig?
No. Believe it or not, I never was fired. I almost was beaten up in Alaska by a girl because old line, they were drunk. She and her boyfriend just
You
drunk.
were funnier than she was, so she wanted to beat you
So
up.
she wanted to be a part of the show, and then she started just harassing me, and her boyfriend said something, and I did the old joke. I said, I know I can say it here. I said, I used to, I don't even know why, but I had condoms in my bag. And I would bring one on stage.
You don't know why you had
well,
those?
Well, for comedy.
You know why you had
I used to, yes, but I had one, and I'd bring one in my pocket just in case. And I said, here, to her boyfriend, and I said, here, why don't you put this on? You know what, you're acting like a dick. Why don't you dress like one? And she, yes, and she came at me, and that was the end of the show. But I went back to the green room, and they said, don't go out there because she's waiting outside. I thought, oh, my God, she started it. But, yeah, but I've never been fired. Thank God. I've never been fired from a gig. No.
I have. I tell you the story. I wanted to be a comic at one time. And I was in Phoenix, Arizona, working for Dick Van Dyke on KXIV 1400 radio.
Really?
And I got this gig. The Playboy Club was right next door in the same building on Central Avenue.
Nice.
But you have to know your audience.
Yes.
If you don't know your audience, you're in trouble.
Uh-oh.
I go and do a sophisticated Playboy Club act, but I'm telling stories about my mother's cat.
Oh.
Halfway through the show, the entertainment director comes out and whispers, I think that's enough.
Oh.
Because I wasn't getting a lot of laughs.
Just getting started.
Wait a minute. He says, well, they don't want to hear about your mother's cat.
Right. Yes.
It's a different audience, so thank you very much, and we'll talk to you later. And it's basically the hook.
Oh, my God.
I got the hook right in the middle
Wow.
of the show.
Wow.
And
no.
that was the end of my comedy career.
Oh man, no. Now radio media, that's a different story. But yes.
We're going to take a break and come back about your transition into the radio business. I frankly was thrilled when you got that gig. I loved you on Hot Talk.
Yes.
And then when you came over in your first gig with Mike O'Brien,
Yeah.
I was thrilled with all. You started as
I
a
love
guest,
that. Yeah, I did.
and
I
you ended
did.
up as the host.
Yeah, how about that?
Yeah, we'll be right back with Carla Rea here on Vegas Pulse, Stories from the Back of the House. Be right back.
Hey Vegas! Are you ready to kickstart 2025 with a bang? The Composer's Room is your go-to destination for Las Vegas entertainment. Every day is a celebration here. From live music to comedy shows to magic acts, the Composer's Room has the entertainment with the Las Vegas vibe. If you are feeling lucky, then try your hand at one of our hot video poker machines. Who knows, you may hit the jackpot. Are you feeling thirsty? Our tavern serves the best drinks in Vegas. Whether you are a cocktail connoisseur or a beer buff, our bartenders got you covered. And let's not forget about the food. Our culinary delights are guaranteed to entertain your taste buds. And what's more, we've been voted best restaurant with live music. Come for the entertainment and stay for the food. Start celebrating 2025 in style at the Composer's Room. Our Vegas, our way.
Looking for a night out that's pure Vegas? Welcome to Jimmy Kimmel's Comedy Club, voted best comedy club in Las Vegas. Located at the Link Promenade, just steps from the High Roller, it's your ticket to big laughs from top comics handpicked by Jimmy Kimmel himself. No two shows are alike. Every night's a headliner, and every seat's a great one. Get your laughs at the best. Jimmy Kimmel's Comedy Club, only in Vegas, only at the Link.
Go beyond the dining room and into the heart of the service industry. Join Ron Garrett as he brings real people with raw stories and the soul of Las Vegas hospitality.
Carla Rea is my guest here on Vegas Pulse, Stories from the Back of the House. I remember turning on the radio one day at 105.6, was it?
Hot Talk 105, 105.7.
Point
right?
seven,
Hot Talk
I'm only 1 point.
105.7, yes.
And all of a sudden you're on the radio, and I knew you were a great comedian because you worked with me when I was at
Yeah.
the Sahara.
That's right.
And I created the Divas of Comedy Monday nights at
Yes.
9 o'clock.
Yeah.
With you and Kathleen Dunbar,
That's
and I
right.
think it was Pam Matheson.
Pam would, yes, Pam, yeah, good memory, and Carol Montgomery.
And Carol Montgomery.
Yeah.
But I must say, you guys sold out every single time, 9 o'clock on Mondays.
That
It was
a
great.
blast. It was a blast.
And
it really was.
and we started that at the Greek Isles before that
Yeah.
when I was the general
Wow.
manager there.
Wow, yes.
So here you are in Hot Talk. Who was your associate there?
I was on with Pat Frisch, who just passed away last year. God bless him, because he so Dane Wilt was over at Channel 3. Channel 3 owned Hot Talk.
Right.
And Dane saw me. I used to Jim Villanucci was a friend of mine. And yeah, he was a friend of mine. Still is. But he said, "Hey, once in a while come on by." You know, he did more of a political but it was talk radio when it was still fun. You could talk about things, everything. So I'd go over there occasionally, whatever. And then Dane Wilt, who was the GM sales manager of the station, he saw me do comedy at Catch a Rising Star, and he said, "Hey, have you thought about doing talk radio?" And I thought, well, not really, but how hard could that be? And and it was hard. I mean, it was hard in a good way. I mean, I learned so much, but it was kind of balls to the wall. I mean, anything that we wanted to talk about, Pat and I, we were both of different areas politically, but it was really fun. We had a great time. Pat left, then I was on with Julie Range. And they really wanted that, two females doing radio, and we had a blast with it. But they literally had bumper stickers made that said, it was Carla Rea and Julie Range, oral stimulation on Hot Talk 105. Yeah, it was like, Hot Talk 105.1. That was it. But yeah, so they kind of leaned in that direction, though we still did our show. It was kind of goofy, but it went well. Then Julie left, became an anchor somewhere in Idaho, in Pocatello, I think. And then it was just me. And I was a bit worried. I had a blast.
So you were by yourself.
I was by myself.
And there's nobody to lean on. I always have to have a co-host, otherwise I'm in trouble.
Absolutely. And I remember a consultant said, "No, you're going to be fine. You're going to be fine." And I thought, how the hell am I? How am I going to be fine? Well, it was good. It turned out to be good. I was able to get in a lot of guests, and that's when you were able to have. I talked to hookers. I talked to strippers. It was just fun. It was so much fun.
I talk to hookers and strippers all the time, but I wasn't on the air. No.
It was a blast, though, Ron. And it's funny you say that because so many people, they really remember that. It was FM Talk, which was fairly new at the time. I was on after Don Imus. We went into Don and Mike. Tom Likas, so it was that station,
I liked Imus. I thought he was one of the best
He
ones.
was good. He got a little curmudgeon-y there towards the end, but who hasn't?
Just
Stern
like
has gotten
Stern
that way. Yeah, he's gotten that way as well.
And all that.
Yeah.
Did you do an interview with Michelle Obama and Jill Biden?
Yeah.
I wanted to bring that up because those are big names.
So it was with Michelle Obama. Here's what happened. This was, the second term for Obama. And they were doing just interviews, not vote for my husband or my candidate, but get out to vote. And this was it. I don't know how it came to us so easily. Then we reached out. He was running against Mitt Romney, and we reached out to his people, and they said no, no thanks. I think they knew that it probably wasn't going to happen, and they just really weren't doing interviews. So we said, well, we're talking to Michelle Obama, and it was Mike and I, and they gave us 5 minutes.
Breakfast flakes?
No, this was actually at KKLZ.
Oh, okay,
at
where
KKLZ,
you are now.
Where I am now. Yeah, 5 minutes they gave us, and she literally she called us. Usually it's okay, we have Michelle Obama. She called us, and Mike said, "Oh, this is you," and I said, "Your people aren't," and she just kind of laughed, "No," and this and that, and she was great. I said, "Have you been to Vegas?" She said, I have been." I said, "Well, I think you should come back." I said, "Why don't you and Jill come back? We can go and see the Thunder from Down Under. It would be a blast." And Michelle Obama cracked up, but she said, "Well, maybe I'll check with Jill." I said, "Do." I said, "Because I think you guys can probably get comps." I said, "You guys,
I would think so.
Yeah, I said, everybody knows your name, so let me know." And it was very funny, and it's quite. It probably helped me win a couple of awards with
like
that one.
the Gracie Award, which you won in 2020.
That was really cool. That was really cool, Ron. You know who that was named after? You know.
Gracie Allen.
Yes.
George Burns and Gracie Allen.
Yes. And
very prestigious award in the comedy field.
It is in comedy and radio, and I think it meant more to me. It meant a lot to me because Mike O'Brien, my partner, and our GM at the time, Peter Burton was his name. They submitted me. I didn't know. This was kind of later in the 2020, the dreaded year of the pandemic. It was a little later. We're not. You just didn't know what was going on anywhere. And they submitted me. I didn't know it. I won it. And it was really, really cool. And I mean, people who have won it, like I say, I think Michelle Obama got one as well. Jane Pauley, as far as journalism goes. A lot of my radio
up there
colleagues.
with the big people.
Yeah. So it was really a cool thing. It was, and that will be one of the I don't know. I will remember that for a long time.
Takeaway impressions from your conversation with Michelle Obama.
Oh, she was lovely. She was funny. And it's so weird to say. She was really normal. She was really normal. She had just gotten in trouble, by the way, for going to, I don't know if you remember, she snuck off to Target. She just wanted to go shopping.
Yeah, I remember
Yes. And we had mentioned that too. And she said, I just, sometimes you just want your life. And I don't know, they just, like them or not, she seemed very grounded. Just very grounded.
I would say she still is.
I think so. And I think she still does her Target runs, and she does whatever she wants to do,
She says a lot of things that upsets her husband from time to time.
Yes, she
as
does.
well.
Yeah, I know. I feel like he, every once in a while, is like, can you stop?
Yeah,
Can you just not?
I'm going to take a break and come back, and I want to talk about your co-host, Mike O'Brien, because of his, the Lifetime Achievement Award.
Yes. Yeah.
Let's come back and talk about that. We'll be right back here. Hey, Vegas, continue to watch the Vegas Pulse, stories from the back of the house with my guest, Carla Rea.
Hey Vegas! Are you ready to kickstart 2025 with a bang? The Composer's Room is your go-to destination for Las Vegas entertainment. Every day is a celebration here. From live music to comedy shows to magic acts, the Composer's Room has the entertainment with the Las Vegas vibe. If you are feeling lucky, then try your hand at one of our hot video poker machines. Who knows, you may hit the jackpot. Are you feeling thirsty? Our tavern serves the best drinks in Vegas. Whether you are a cocktail connoisseur or a beer buff, our bartenders got you covered. And let's not forget about the food. Our culinary delights are guaranteed to entertain your taste buds. And what's more, we've been voted best restaurant with live music. Come for the entertainment and stay for the food. Start celebrating 2025 in style at the Composer's Room. Our Vegas, our way.
Looking for a night out that's pure Vegas? Welcome to Jimmy Kimmel's Comedy Club, voted best comedy club in Las Vegas. Located at the Link Promenade, just steps from the High Roller, it's your ticket to big laughs from top comics handpicked by Jimmy Kimmel himself. No two shows are alike. Every night's a headliner, and every seat's a great one. Get your laughs at the best. Jimmy Kimmel's Comedy Club, only in Vegas, only at the Link.
Back with Carla Rea. Carla, right now you're morning personality on KKLZ. It's Beasley Broadcasting.
Correct? Yeah.
And your co-host is the great Mike O'Brien.
Yeah.
Now, he's up for the Lifetime Achievement Award with the Nevada Broadcasters.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you're very proud of him.
I am extremely proud of him. And when we got the call, he got the call, and he told me, now a lot of people might think, well, what is the big deal? It is a big deal because he's been in town for 45 years, I think he's been in Las Vegas. And he told me, and I got all teary-eyed because I feel Mike and I are not. He invited me to sit in with him early on when I first
started
moved
as
to
a
Vegas.
guest.
That's right. Yeah, as a comedian, I was a guest. And then along the way, he said, "Come, you know what? Just come sit in." We went to the Point, and we were there for a little while. He said, "Just come sit in. This is going to work," and it worked. And then they let us go because that's radio and that's the media. What reason? I don't know what reason.
That
but
happens
they let
all
you.
the time.
Yes, exactly. And Mike even called me when they let us go because he said, "Congratulations! Now you're really in radio."
That's right.
So then after that, at KKLZ, I was working at Channel 3 at the time with the Wagners, and they had cutbacks. It was when the big, in 08, 09 in there, and then it hit us in 9, 10. And Mike said, "Come over. This will work again." And I went over there. I've been with him like 14 years now, and he is the best. He is the absolute best. He has taught me so much in radio. I thought I knew. No, he's just the best. He deserves this beyond anybody.
14 years.
14 years.
Unheard of in
It
radio.
is. But Ron, there's that. There was the Point. We've worked together on air about 20 years. But I go back with him about, since I moved here, 30 plus years. And he's taught me so much about radio. I think a lot of people think they know Mike, but they don't. He said something the other day. He was talking to somebody about our show, and he said, I'm flattered, but he said, I know my position. I know what my role is, and Carla knows what hers is. And he said, I've never been able to step aside easier to let someone do their job with me. And it was very kind, because he's like, he said, you're the funny one, and Mike's hilarious, but he said, you're the funny one. And he's the good cop. I'm the bad cop. Hard to believe. But he has just taught me so much, and he deserves this so much. It was a long time coming, and I'm really, really happy
he's the
for him.
perfect candidate for
this.
Did people think you were a couple at one point?
Yes, and we have never, by the way. People always ask that.
I want to reiterate that. We have never.
No, we have not. However, we were just talking about that recently. He's one of the longest relationships I've had, and vice versa. Mike's been married like 1, 2, 3, 4, I think. I'm talking to you. Like, yeah.
Same thing.
Yes, exactly. So, but we are the longest relationship that each one has truly had, aside from, friendships. And it is a relationship. You wake up with somebody. I get in there at 3 a.m. Mike's in there maybe an hour and a half after me. And you're spending some intimate time together. You know that. In that small space, and it's got to work. It's got to work, but we have never. So
my longest relationship was with my cat.
Aww,
18 years.
That's, you know what? Perfect.
Perfect.
Perfect. Yes, exactly. Never argued, right? Never argued.
But she didn't like me for the first 10 years.
No, that's a cat, isn't
Yeah.
it? And a woman sometimes.
Finally,
right?
she came out. Carla Rea, I could go for an hour with
I
you,
know,
and we're going to invite you
know.
back to do another half hour.
You got it. You got
pretty
it.
soon. I appreciate it. You're the best.
You are the best. We go back a long
way. I've
so-
always loved you, and I've always
love you
loved
right back.
loved your career, and I've watched everything you do.
Yeah, you
One
have.
final question.
Yeah.
You have a choice: comedy, radio. Which one would you pick?
Comedy.
Yeah.
Comedy.
That's in your heart.
It's my first love. It really is my first love. So
And you're
yeah.
terrific at it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Carla Rea. Thank you, everyone, for watching the Vegas Pulse, Stories from the Back of the House. I'm Ron Garrett, and we'll see you next time right here on Hey Vegas TV.